I think we were created for a purpose. And I would have this business on the side. But quickly, I realized I couldn't do a good job at both. It's a tough journey, but it's worth it. List of the 400 wealthiest people in the world. Every single one of them did it from business ownership. I think part of successful is a combination of the relationships, money, freedom. Instead of trading the time for the money, we could invest the time for money.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Yep. I'm Kim. I'm come from Canada, and I'm traveling around the world just to interview all of the successful businessmen, just like you.
All right.
The reason is we know that young generation now they start to do their entrepreneurship journey, and then the problem is now they're facing a lot of challenge, and many of them they want to quit, and some of them they don't even dare to come into the journey. So that's why I just want to gathering all of the experience from you, from all of the elder people, the one with full of knowledge, so we can be able to encourage young generation. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Introduce a bit about yourself, what you're doing.
Well, I'm on my second business. My first business, I started a international trucking and logistics company, shipping anything you can imagine: race cars, MRI machines, a lot of medical and dental, and then just ordinary goods. We did a lot of stuff there. And then about 10 years ago, I switched over into real estate investing, which was a hobby, but now it's, I decided when I exited my trucking business, I decided to go full-time into real estate. And so now I buy apartment complexes around the U.S. and, try to improve the value. And so it's been a lot of fun.
How's the feeling when you transition from another industry totally different to a new industry?
Well, it wasn't my plan to change. I had an opportunity to sell my company.
I see.
And so I sold the business, and I just said, all right, I'm going to retire at, the age of 37, I think I was. And I just said, I'm just going to take it easy, retire, and do nothing. Well,
That's the plan.
I did nothing for a couple of months, and I said, I have to do something. I can't I just wasn't happy just doing nothing. So, I like a vacation, but I want to be productive too.
So it cannot be the vacation, long vacation all the time. We have to do something.
Yeah, I think we were created for a purpose. Not just to work and make a bunch of money and be comfortable, but be productive and, help people and, provide opportunities, make the world a better place.
Make a better place. So we're curious, have you ever become an employee in the past, like working for somebody else before you start your journey?
Yes, it was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Before this, I was a teacher.
A teacher?
Yes. I taught business and Spanish.
You taught business in Spanish, and you speak Spanish?
Yes.
How it end up like a drug company, real estate company?
Well, when I was teaching business, I was learning about all the great entrepreneurs and the business owners around America and around the world. And I would come to class just so excited about what I was teaching about. But I had never started a business.
I see.
I did start a business when I was like a teenager, but I don't really count that, going around the neighborhood mowing lawns and things like that. I really wanted to start a business, and I just got the idea of a trucking and logistics company. I decided it would be like a part-time deal.
Yeah.
And so I would continue teaching, and I would have this business on the side. Quickly, I realized I couldn't do both. I couldn't do a good job at both. So anyway, I just moved into the logistics business.
So it's just a hitting moment that you think you're gonna move, or is it something really challenge this season?
When I first started it?
Yes.
Well, part of the reason was, I was excited about what I was learning, but I was also not making very much money as a teacher.
Oh yes.
And so I wanted like a side income, a side business, and I thought I could do that with owning a business. And I realized it was a lot more work. Yeah, I guess it was not really something I had envisioned. I was just like, I'll just, start this, I'll hire some employees to operate the equipment. I didn't know anything about trucking. Didn't have any family, no background in it. It was a journey.
Unexpected journey.
Yeah, unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then over time, you realize like, oh, goal setting.
Yeah.
Like I should set some goals in my business, and and then you learn stuff because you have to.
Yes. You learn on the way.
Yeah, learn on the way. I was building my parachute while I was falling.
If you have to go back, do you gonna ever regret that you wanna stay at the job? No.
I mean, most people that have gone into entrepreneurship, they all feel the same way. Like it's a tough journey, but it's worth it. There's nothing like it. To have control over your destiny, or some control, and then the idea of unlimited earning potential. As an employee, you can only make what that position pays.
Yep.
And then as you move into entrepreneurship, you probably make less starting out.
Yeah.
But then, hopefully over time, that continues to grow.
Yes. When you're talking about entrepreneurship, and especially in a couple of, let's say, 3 years at the beginning, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of burden. You carry everything. How do you manage to carry all of them in the first 3 years? This is really important because I would say that the longer we go, the bigger we are. But there's people when they just go to the first year and then they quit. Any experience from that one?
I think the way I saw it, and I think the way a lot of new entrepreneurs see it, my thought was, okay, I'm going to buy this equipment. I'm going to buy these trucks. I'm going to hire some people, and I'm going to make $10,000 a month profit, like on the first month. And every month after, and then it's just going to grow. It was 2 full years that I was paying money into the business to keep it going.
Yes.
On paper, it looked great.
Yes.
You buy trucks, you hire employees, they make money,
Yes.
I get the profit.
Yes.
But, I think entrepreneurship and going into business ownership, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the person that's going to try it for a week or a month. And I'm not trying to scare people off. I think you have to see that you're going to have, going out of entrepreneurship and business ownership, you can have this whole world that's not available to other people.
Yes.
But, if it was easy, then everybody would do it, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the Forbes 400, the list of the 400 wealthiest people in the world, you'll see that every single one of them, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2, every single one of them did it from business ownership.
Yes.
People make a lot of money in real estate. I love real estate. That's my business. But where the wealth is built is by building a system that is by owning a company that provides a product or service.
Yes. May I ask you something? Do you think entrepreneurship is good with, everyone can do it? Or who gonna be the one who should do it?
Can everybody do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody can do it. Should everybody do it? I hate to say it, but probably not. Maybe this is a little bit contrarian, but I think some people are a lot more suited to the comfort, stability, and consistency of having a job. I would say that's okay. There's nothing wrong with getting a job, working hard, providing value, and building a life and some wealth from that. For the people that are I want to experience this. I want more out of life. I want to do things that employees don't have the opportunity to do.
Yes.
I want to take a 3-month vacation and make more money while I was gone than when I was back in the office. For people like that, I would say go into it calculated.
Yes.
Put some thought into it.
Yeah.
Everybody can do it. Should everybody do it? Probably not. But yeah.
But what is the most characteristic that somebody who want to do it have to got that characteristic in order to do in the entrepreneur journey?
Well, I think the good news is that any of the personality styles can be successful.
Wow.
I think some of them are more suited to do, like we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes I'm ready, fire, and I want to like jump into something without thinking through it. That has pros and cons.
Yeah.
And then the people that want to think through, has some really good traits to that. But at the same time, sometimes they need to like go ahead and take action.
Yeah.
Me, sometimes I need to slow down. Some people need to like stop researching and like go do something.
It seems like you have a free spiritual adventure mind. You
Yes.
consider yourself that?
Yes, I'm
Adventure.
yeah, I'm more adventurous. Like I say, all of these have their pros and cons.
Yes.
Like I can jump into I can launch a new part of my business. Like I just have an idea and then I'll start it tomorrow or today. The bad part is that sometimes I get the shiny object syndrome where it's like, oh, I could go into something totally unrelated to what I'm doing. I have to like remember to bring the focus in and not have like 15 different focuses.
In any moment in your adventure life, you're gonna feel like
Yeah, there's been plenty of times with that. I've been really fortunate that my wife has always encouraged me. And I'm gonna get a little choked up here, but there's plenty of times where it just it's hard. It's hard being an entrepreneur. My wife was always there to encourage me, friends to encourage me, and then as I've grown in business, then I try to be that one encouraging the young entrepreneurs. Like, man, you can do it. You got your first $1,000 a month. Congratulations. Okay, you got your first 100,000. All right, how are you going to get to 100,000 a month or $1 million? So and that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, there's plenty of nights where I'm like, it would be so much easier to let somebody else tell me when to show up, when to go home, give me a paycheck, and then be done.
it's so much easier. Yes, because now all the responsibility that come to you. It's not only you're taking care of the family and you're taking care of your employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now everyone just counting on your small salary.
Yeah. I think one really cool part of the journey is as you grow your business and you can put people in place to help you with those. And you hire the people that will fill in your gaps.
Yes.
If you hate details and spreadsheets and you can hire that person that loves that,
Yeah.
now you fill the big gap and you can give that to them.
Yes.
And one time I went on vacation. I took 2 weeks off, went on an international vacation, and didn't take my phone, didn't answer. Well, I took my phone, but nobody called me. And I had key people in place. And I came back from 2-week vacation. I came into the office and my employees were like, hey, we want to hear about your trip, but we were just too busy. Can you just leave the office? And when you take a 2-week or a month vacation and you make more money when you're gone, and you didn't have any phone calls. So yes, it's hard work.
Yep.
Yes, there's times you want to quit. Yes, there's times when you're like, man, I'm making like $4 an hour or $1 an hour, or I'm paying to keep this business going. Yeah, there's those times, but then there's also the times when you go on vacation for 2 weeks or a month, don't get any phone calls, and while you're gone, you made whatever, $50,000, $100,000, or you had your best month, which has happened to me multiple times. You should go on vacation more.
So it's really worth it for everything.
Yeah, so it can be a bit of a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes.
Because you have the highs, the first time you hit $1 million sales in a month. And I mean, that is so exciting. And then you have the other times where it's like, my wife needs to get a job to keep the business going. There's a lot of highs and lows. Overall, for me, it's been very much worth it. And, pretty much all my entrepreneur buddies, it can be a little bit addictive. So you have the freedom of you can have freedom over your schedule.
Yeah.
Depending on how the business is going.
Yeah.
You can have the great income. I think it's great.
On and on, and you're very experienced.
Overall.
Yes, overall.
Yeah.
I was just hearing one of your conversation. You were mentioning about your identity shift. How did you change in your identity? Coming from an employee, now you become an employer because you know it's really different kinds of mindset. How did you do? Financially and emotionally.
So me sometimes acting before I think, I just kind of like jumped into it. I think the mind shift was gradual. For my wife, it was a lot more challenging because she was used to me bringing home a paycheck every 2 weeks. And now, like, we get no money for 2 months in a row, and then I get, $10,000. And then I don't get paid for 2 weeks, and then I get, $1,000. And then I don't get paid for 3 months, and I get $30,000. So it was like this weird, lumpy income that eventually, I guess you just get accustomed to it. So it's been a journey for me and my wife.
Yes, that I would like to say that. So do you think that you need somebody next to you, let's say your wife, your partner, somebody who, should anyone doing business alone by themselves?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So my wife has never worked with me in my businesses. So I don't know if I would have continued if she wasn't there. I don't know. I can be stubborn and like want to prove it that I can be successful, because you hear the naysayers. Just, why are you doing this? Like, just go get a real job.
Yes.
So you hear things like that.
Get a real job.
And then sometimes I just I want to prove them wrong because they told me I couldn't do it. And I just want to show them that I have what it takes.
But because from your story, I can hear that your wife contribute to a really big contribution in the success. Because whenever you fail, and whenever you make a mistake, your wife gonna be the one who stand next to you. Many of people, they were thinking, especially young generation, they think that they will start the business alone by themselves, and then until they're successful, they will fight for themselves, wife or husband. So is it any recommendation or advice for them? Because I was just really afraid when they're falling into that moment, nobody next to them.
Yeah. Well, I think the one important thing that I discovered somewhere along the way was getting around other people that were more successful, attending conferences or being in a mastermind or something like that, to where you can talk to people about your struggles. And, hey, I'm having this issue in my business. Oh, well, here's what I did when I was in your position. And I think that's another important component to it. So you don't have to have a partner cheering you on. You might have a partner that's pulling you down, and maybe that can be your motivation. It's great to have a partner that's supporting you and cheering you on, but you got masterminds. I think part of it's the mindset, what you're putting in your mind. Listening to music that's like pulling you down, or that's lifting your spirit. Are you listening to anything that's like building you up? Like audios or audiobooks or whatever it is that like inspires you and encourages you.
I haven't think about, maybe you got somebody and pulling you down.
Yeah, it's I think it's a lot of it's a mind game, really. Yeah.
When everything is really depending on yourself, where did you get that confidence?
I don't know, because I kind of grew up in an indecisive environment where it's hard to make decisions, slow. I don't know if that was just a gradual thing that I overcame. I still have my moments of indecision. You get the information you can, you try to make the best decision. Sometimes that ends up being a genius move, and sometimes you learn.
Sometimes you lose, other times you learn.
Yes. So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yes. So after how many years in the business?
20 years.
Really? Including the jet company and the relationship. Okay. So during that all the year, what success feel like with you right now? Can you define what is success?
I always admire when you got, you can get to the mountain alone and have, all the money and all the things and all the vacations that you want. But, I think part of the fun is taking people with you.
Yes.
So I think part of being successful when I was younger, I wanted to be a millionaire by this time, worth 10 million by this time, 100 million by this time, and a billion. And there's nothing wrong with hitting those different milestones, but you can be pretty comfortable, uh, you know, before a billion and before 100 million. Before I think part of successful is, you know, having the people you love want to be with you, and having that freedom, and the ability to to give to the people and the causes you care about. So I think it's a whole package more than if you're a billionaire, but your kids won't talk to you, don't want to see you. Yeah, that's not successful. I think it's a combination of the relationships, the money, the freedom, and you could throw in there the health and the mental.
So it had to be a balance between the three.
Yeah, I think it'd be a balance.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure I know people who got like 100 millions, billion, but you don't really see them happy.
Yeah.
There's a book called The Five Times of Wealth. So he was saying that wealth, like financial wealth, is only one of the five equations. You have to get your time wealth, your health wealth, your social wealth, and your mental. If you got five of them, now you are full complete.
Yeah.
Most people that we all just focus on the financial wealth.
Mm-hmm.
With only one, you cannot define that you are successful.
Yeah, I think it was maybe John Maxwell that said a lot of people spend their lives trading their wealth, their health for their wealth.
Yeah.
And then when they get their wealth, then they spend all their wealth to get their health back, And I think sometimes people make the trade, I'll, put my family on hold while I'm building the business, or my health or my mental state, things like that. But you can do that, and maybe you can get there faster, but you might get there alone and bad health and things like that. So
I usually got a podcast. I'm gonna ask you two questions. Firstly, do you know how long is it for 1 million seconds?
I think it's like 12 days.
11 days.
11 days? Okay.
Yes. 1 billion seconds.
33 years?
30 plus years.
30, okay.
Yes. So people now, especially when we were young, we were being taught that you have to sell in time for money.
Mm-hmm.
We all being taught that.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is money and wealth is unlimited. And time in limits. I'm gonna got you and me, we're gonna got 30 years left, let's say. So we got 1 billion seconds left. Every single second like this. And we have to really careful about how we spending our time. But now when we go back to the young generation and when we were being a kid, we're being taught, sell your time for the money. Sell the limit resource to buy the unlimited resource. Mm-hmm. Any advice for them now to changing their mindset a bit?
Well, I think we all start out trading time for money.
Yes.
So that's not like bad in and of itself, but maybe instead of like trading the time for the money, we could invest the time for money.
Yes.
So instead of working at something that gives you no skills, no like future opportunity, that's just trading time for money. But if you're thinking, okay, I want to, and I think part of this is visualizing the kind of life you want. Maybe I could go here and work, I hate to, call names, but, a gas station, like a low skill place, fast food. Yep. Okay, maybe they're going to pay you 15, or whatever amount. They're going to pay you this amount of money, but you could do something that would be investing your time. Yeah. Where you're learning sales, you're learning soft skills, you're learning things like that. Like it would be better for you to make less money learning and investing your time
Yes.
rather than getting a higher amount
Mm.
of something that's gives you no skill and it's just a transactional trade of your time for money.
Transactional. Yep, love it. Please make sure you really just write this one again. Invest your time to learning skill, not investing that time just to doing some job that is just like a transactional one.
Right.
You're gonna really regret in the future when you're getting a bit older that those young times you don't spend for investing yourself. So next moment, have you ever felt like you're being left alone by yourself?
There's been a few times where I just felt like I had gone, like it had become a grind. And I think we probably all have times when it just kind of goes into that. There's definitely times when I just kind of felt a little bit lost, a little bit like just in the grind. I'm waking up, I'm doing the same thing over and over. You know, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I think that's something we're all going to experience.
How do you manage to combine that?
I mean, maybe breaking up the routine, add or change something to the routine. Let me go get around some different people, different thinkers. You know, what kind of conference can I go to? But I think we all need to be around other people that are thinking differently.
Changing the environment.
Yeah, change the environment, get around some different people, like get something different in your mind. Maybe it's time to look at your goals. Maybe it's time to set new goals.
Do you have a vision board?
You know, I've never done a vision board for my business. I've had goals for my business. So my personal goals, I think I've hit like every goal that nearly every goal that I've ever set, I've hit.
Did it?
Never in the time frame that I wanted, but you know, sometimes it's 10 years later. Like I want to accomplish this year, and maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. But I think you accomplish all the goals. A lot of the business things, like I've set a goal and then the business pivoted.
Yes.
And so like that goal never was not important anymore. I've done a lot of vision boards for myself and my kids, but not for my business, no.
But with me, like this is a mirror of you. You don't need to got a vision board for your business because with you, if you got it in your vision board for yourself, it's also reflect in your business.
Yeah.
Because the way you are is the way you manage your business.
Yeah. And the way to accomplish those personal goals are to do well in business.
Yes.
So, but I've never thought about doing a vision board for my business.
Yeah. So how about sharing a bit about the vision board for your goal? Yeah. Like let's say, do you plan it 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or 10 year, 30 year?
Well, honestly, that's something I need to go back to doing. Because in the past, I've done like a 1 year, 3 year, 10 year,
Yes.
which I thought was really helpful. You set this huge goal for 10 years, and then you think, okay, if I want to accomplish that in 10 years, what needs to happen in the next 3 years?
Yes.
And then what needs to happen in, the next year to do that? And then you can break it down into quarters. Okay, what do I need to do this quarter to make that happen? And then for this quarter, what are the the weekly actions I need to take? And there's different people that have written books about that. Traction by Gino Wickman is one that kind of shows you a structure like that.
I really believe in the vision board. Vision is not something you make imagination right there and it's gonna happen. It's not gonna work that way. A vision board is something it have to go with your feeling. You need to experience that as the way it's already happened. Just now when you're sharing with me the story of Bob Proctor, yeah, it is exactly the same thing that you already got the feeling that you handshake it. That feeling the hand is so warm, the smile is so warm, and that got you the feeling, and the feeling gonna be the one make all of those become true. Yes. So with me vision board, I'm gonna got a vision of me next year I'm moving to Austin. And that's gonna be my house next to the lake.
Okay.
I'm gonna invite you to the house, and then we're gonna got a private chef with my wife and cooking for us.
Okay.
And your kid gonna running around. So that's in my vision board. If I be able to do the vision board that way. I'm just what I'm sharing with people. They were saying that vision and imagination they're just illusion. They're just like up there, up in the sky, you make imagination. But with me is if it's vision, you imagine that and then you will find a way to come into that way. But if it just like you think about that and you put it in the corner, it's never gonna happen. It will never gonna happen. But at least we know where we're gonna go. That's why we need.
Yeah, well, I think when our subconscious never goes to sleep.
Yes.
And so when we write out these goals and we keep them in front of us,
Yes.
try to imagine it with gratitude
Yes.
in your heart that you've accomplished or achieved these things, or you took that trip, or you, whatever the goal is. When you put that in your subconscious, the subconscious doesn't know the difference between and what's reality and what's not. And so when our subconscious believes it to be true, when we planted that in our subconscious and we've kind of like cultivated that imagination
Yes.
with gratitude and emotion,
Yeah.
our subconscious goes to work to figure out how to make that circumstance happen.
Yes.
And so while we're sleeping, while we're eating, while we're doing our business, our subconscious is saying, okay, how do I buy that house on the lake? How do I take that trip to wherever, Italy, how do I do this and that? And you figure it out.
Yeah.
And I could tell you stories about that, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years ago, when I go to Canada, I never ever think I'm gonna sitting here talking to you. Like as a corporate lawyer in Vietnam, I open company for people, but I never have my own business because I see people have company and they're struggling. And I'm telling myself, no. I'm happy become a lawyer. I'm not open a company. But coming to Canada 2020, now 2025, I open 5 companies. I mean, during that meantime, I'll just learn how to do the vision board and stuff, just on the way, just like you. Now I look back, I see my vision board in 2022. All of that list is done. Feel like magic, but it's like universal law.
Yeah. I had a friend, this was back in like 2000, I don't know, 2005, 2006. He said, I want you to write down 25 things, 25 goals, things for your vision board or whatever. And so I wrote down those 25 things. And fast forward to 2014, we were moving into our dream home. Beautiful place, 10 acres, amazing home. And I was moving a dresser and I found that list that I had lost. I kind of forgot about it. But I went down the list, and at the time when I wrote it down, we had no way of accomplishing that with the circumstance I was in at the time. But when I found the list, there were something like 18 of the things that we had written off. And now there's been 22 of the things that are crossed off. And I got goosebumps a few weeks ago when I was looking at buying an airplane.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I wrote this in 2006
Yes.
that I would, buy an aircraft.
Yeah.
So after that, I still got 2 more things. But of course, I've added, I've come up with other goals. But yeah, I think writing your goals down is important.
Okay. Go back. If you come back all the way to the day that you think you're gonna, what is the message you're gonna tell to that version of yourself?
I would say it's temporary.
Temporary.
Like what you're going through is temporary. Here's the deal. You're going to go through hard times whether you're an entrepreneur or if you are an employee.
Yes.
If you're rich, you're going to have trouble and problems. If you're poor, you're going to have trouble and problems. So pick your misery.
Yes.
It's going to take so much trouble and work to achieve that. You're going to have trouble and work no matter what.
That's temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary. You'll get through it.
When you got 3 months not doing anything, now you go back, I have to do something. So from there, have you ever think about what is the purpose of our life?
Yeah, I've thought about that. We were created for a purpose, and you can call it something else if you want to, but I think part of that is acknowledging God, doing what it is that would honor Him, and living in a way that would honor Him. And I think part of that is what we do for other people. We are very comfortable here in the U.S. and Canada, but there's a lot of people that, they don't have a meal, they don't know what they're going to eat tonight.
Yes.
And they can't just go down and apply for a program and get a car full of groceries. I think I'm a part of a nonprofit called Impact Others, and that's near and dear to my heart. We are feeding orphans. We've got feeding centers around the world, and something that's really important to me. Uh, so I think that's part of our purpose. Is I've always wanted to make the world a better place, and each person I interact with, they're better because they met.
Oh, that is exactly what I mean. Maybe this video, it just need to having one people.
Yeah.
It's already good enough. Like we don't need to be that big vision, whatever. But as long as you have one people, and if that people have one people, or even make it like you have 10 people, and the 10 people having 100 people, 100 people having 1,000 people. I used to open a pizza restaurant in Vietnam, so we call it a pay it forward, which means that if you come, you buy a piece of pizza, let's say like $2-3, you will be able to have a chance to buy another piece of paper. You got your message, like whatever you got a message there, and we're gonna stick that a sticker into the wall in the restaurant, and then the orphans or the kid, maybe they don't have enough money. Every night they're gonna come and pick one message, and they exchange for the pizza.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I got friends who are coming from America. They coming there. They order 100 pieces of paper. They label it in the entire world. That night, the entire pizza shop is full of people. It's just a way of paying for.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you ever heard about this center? There's two important days in your life. First day is the day you're born. What's the
second day? The day you figure out why.
Did you? So you got the answer for that?
I think it's kind of back to what we just said. It's not all about us.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with, having a beautiful house and all the nice things. But, if you're just living for yourself, then I think you're missing something. If you're not making the world a better place. And if you will, drop in that Impact Others one.
Yes.
If people want to, contribute to that. But I think that's a big part of it is, what are you doing for other people while you're here?
Yeah. I would just register the impact, and now I just put my credit there. Every month they're gonna need that. Just for myself, I'll put my credit card there, and every month, instead of you got a subscription for your Netflix, for your whatever, put it right there. So somebody gonna got meal.
We can feed a hungry kid for, I think it's like, 20, 30 cents a day.
How many kids we can feed for $100?
So, I mean, probably 500 kids, 500 meals.
You hear that? I'm gonna drop down the link right in the description right now, right in the description, so you guys can just check it out the impact.
Impact Others.
Impact Others. Yeah, with the link. After the conversation with Paul today, there's one thing stay with me. Success never ever come from certainty. It comes from commitment. He quit, knowing there's gonna be a bunch of pressure gonna come in. He knew there's gonna be nights. Money have to come because there's no way around. And maybe that's the lesson. But sometimes clarity, it doesn't come before you jump. It only comes because you jump. If you're in the season of pressure right now, maybe it's not a punishment at all. It's just coming here to shaping you, to build you to be stronger. Thank you, Paul, for sharing this story, and not just the wit, also the weight behind your story. If anyone here feeling this kind of conversation, this kind of sharing touch you, and you feel like you should share it with somebody else, any of your friends, you think that it might help them too, feel free to share it. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!